Hello, everybody. In today's lesson, lesson 11.2, our topic is degrees. And our essential question is, how are degrees related to fractional parts of a circle? Well, you can use what you know about angles and fractional parts of a circle to understand angle measurement. Angles are measured in units called degrees. Think of a circle divided into 360 equal parts. An angle that turns through 1/360th of the circle measures 1 degree. So, and over here it says the symbol for degrees is the circle. Okay. All right. So this is showing us 1 degree. That's a very small turn, right? If this was my starting point and I opened the angle all the way around, it would be 360 degrees. If I opened it so it was pointing at like the 3 on the clock and the 6 on the clock, well, that would be a right angle or 90 degrees. Okay, and that would be a 4th turn around the circle. Okay, so we're going to practice some different ways of figuring out what the angles are without using a protractor. In our next lesson, we will use a protractor and learn how to use that tool. So, unlock the problem. The angle between two spokes on the bicycle turns through 10/360th of a circle. What is the measure of the angle formed between the spokes? What part of an angle does a spoke represent? Well, it's the ray. Oh, I'd help if I had something that writes, right? Oh, okay. So the ray that turns the side of an angle. What part of an angle does the spoke represent? Okay, so it says the ray that turns the side of an angle. So if this was closed and this was our starting point, this ray, in other words, the rays were sitting right on top of each other. I guess you'd say it's 0 degrees, right? As it's opening up this way, it's the part of an angle the spoke represents is the ray that is turning around the circle. Okay. If this was your starting point, this would be the ray that's turning around the circle. Okay. And the other one would be at 0. All right, so each 1/360th turn measures 1 degree. If you have 10 1/360th turns, that would measure 10 degrees. So the measure between the spokes is 10 degrees. What if, look at the math talk, how many degrees is the measure of an angle that turns through the whole circle? You started here and you went all the way around the circle and got back to where you started. That would be 360 degrees. All right, so let's look at example 2. Find the measure of a right angle. Okay, so this arrow on the outside of the circle, it's telling me that the angle is opening up in that direction. Okay, so this would be 0, and this has turned 1/4 around the circle. Okay, so through what fraction of a circle does a right angle turn? 1/4. Write 1/4 as an equivalent fraction with 360 in the denominator. Okay, we know how to do this. We know that it's 4 times something equals 360. Basically, all we're doing is turning the 4/4 into 360ths. So let's think about some things. And let's think about some of our basic facts. If 4 times 9 is 36, then 4 times 90 has to be 360. So if I multiply 1/4 by 90 over 90, I would get 90 360ths. So now we can write 90 360th in degrees. An angle that turns through 1 360th of a circle measures 1 degree. An angle that turns through 90 360th of a circle measures 90 degrees. So a right angle measures 90 degrees. So when we talk about like now an obtuse angle, and we say that the obtuse angle measures greater than a right angle, but less than a straight angle. So it would be an obtuse angle is anything greater than 90, but less than 180. An acute angle, we said, was an angle that measures less than a right angle. So an acute angle is anything that is less than 90 degrees. All right, find the measure of a straight angle. Through what fraction of a circle does a straight angle turn? Well, you see again the curve, right? So we're indicating direction of the ray opening, the ray on the angle turning. Okay, so it turned through 90 and stopped halfway around. So we went through 1/4 turn, 2/4 turn. So we can say 1/2 turn. So now we're going to write 1/2 as an equivalent fraction with 360 in the denominator. So 2 times what is 36? Let's say I didn't know. Do I know how to divide that? Of course you do. How many 10s can I share into 2 groups? 1 10 each. Subtract, I get 1 left. Bring down the 6 ones. 16 ones to share with 2 groups. I put 8. Okay, so that's how they got 2 times 18. 2 times 18 is 36. But I don't want 36, I want 360. So 180. So 180 times 2 is 360. 180 times 1 is 180. So a straight angle, a straight line, measures measures half of a circle or 180 degrees. Okay, straight angle has a special name. We don't call it an obtuse angle. It's a straight angle and it measures exactly 180 degrees. Okay, how can you describe the measure of an acute angle in degrees? Okay, we just talked about it, right? An acute angle must measure less than 90 degrees. I guess we'd also have to say and greater than 0. And greater than 0. All right. How can you describe the measure of an obtuse angle? All right, we talked about that too. An obtuse angle must measure greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. Okay. All right. Pretty basic. I think we got this. Number 1, find the measure of the angle. So it's showing me here that these rays used to be together, and now it's slowly turning around the outside of the circle, and it's made a third turn around the circle. So I need to go from thirds to 360ths. And it's telling me that if I think of 3 times 12 as being 36, right? So, but I don't want 36, I want 360. So if I multiply 3 by 120, I would get 360. So 120 times 1 is 120. So the measure of an angle that makes 1/3 turn around a circle is 120. And that makes sense because if this is 1/3, I would have 3 turns in this circle, which means if each turn is 120, it should add up to 360, which it does. Okay. Tell the measure of the angle in degrees. 45. Okay, number 3 is a little more of a challenge. 1/12 of a turn. So like 5 minutes on a clock. Every 5 minutes is a 12th turn on the clock. And it's saying it's going this way actually, so it's going counterclockwise, but it's a 1/12. So can we multiply 1/12 by anything to get 360? Well, 12, let's count by 12s. 12, 24, 36. Okay, there. 3, right? 3 12s is 36. But I want 360, so it's not going to be 3, it'll be 30. So multiply 30 times 12 to get 360, and 30 times 1 is 30. So 1/12 is 30 degrees. Every 5 minutes on the clock, it will turn 30 degrees of a circle. Number 4, tell the measure of the angle in degrees. 360 out of 360. That's 360 degrees. All right, 1/10 of a circle. Okay, well, 1/10 times something. So let's think 10 times what is 36? Well, 10 times nothing is 36, but 10 times 3 is 30. Okay, let's do this. 10 times 30 is 300. 360, take away 300 leaves me 60. 10 times what is 60? 6. Okay, so 36. If I multiply 10 by 36, I can turn it into 360ths. So 1 times 36 is 36. 36 degrees. Don't forget your degree sign or symbol. Number 6, classify the angle. All right, this is greater than 90, right? So that is obtuse. This is exactly 1/4 turn or 90 degrees, so it's a right angle. This is less than 90 degrees, but greater than 0, so that's an acute angle. All right, and this one makes a half turn around the circle, and it is a straight angle. Number 10, is this an obtuse angle? Well, if this was, the green area is the part that's shaded, okay? So this angle is opening like that, okay? Well, if it was a straight angle, that would be 180. An obtuse angle is greater than a right angle, but less than 180. This one's greater than 180. So no, it's not an obtuse angle. Number 11. Alex cut a circular pizza into 8 equal slices. He removed 2 slices of the pizza. What is the measure of the angle made by the missing slices? All right, so he has 8 equal slices. He removes 2. So each slice is 1/8 of the circle, right? So let's see if we can find an equivalent fraction for that. 1/8 times something equals 360. Well, 8 times 40 would be 320. So 360, take away 320, leaves me 40. 8 times what is 40? 5. And that leaves me nothing. So 48 and 5/8, 45. So if I multiply 8 by 45, I would have turned it into 300 equal parts, 360 equal parts, and 1 times 45 is 45. So what is the measure of the angle made by the missing slices? This is 1 slice, so 2 would be 90 degrees. He's taken 2 of the pieces, so 45. We can say 1/8 equals 45 degrees. And the other 1/8 piece that he took out is 45 degrees. If you add that together, you get 2/8 or 90 degrees. And again, that makes sense because 2/8 can be simplified to 1/4. And a fourth turn around a circle is 90 degrees. Okay. Number 12. Ava started reading at 3:30 p.m. She stopped for a snack at 4:15. During this time, through what fraction of a circle did the minute hand turn? How many degrees did the minute hand turn? What are you asked to find? We're asked to find through what fraction of a circle did the minute hand turn? Okay. So remember what when it asks us what are you asked to find? It's the question. That's what we need to find. Okay. And so there's 2 questions, right? And how many degrees it turned? All right, so B. What information can you use to find the fraction of a circle through which the minute hand turned? Well, I need to know that it moved from 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Okay, so how many minutes is that? 3:30 to 4 3:30 to 4 is 30 minutes, plus 15 more is 45 minutes. 45 minutes elapsed. So how many turns did the minute hand make? Well, if it starts here, to the 9 is 1/4, to the 12 is 2/4, to the 3 is 3/4. It made a 3/4 turn. Okay, so how can we use this information? You can write 3/4 as an equivalent fraction to 360. As an equivalent fraction with 360 as the denominator. All right, so what are we doing to do that? Doing to solve this. 4 times what is 36? 9, right? But we don't want 36, we want 36 tens or 360. So we want 90. Okay, and so 3 times 90 is 270. Okay. I did it in my head, sorry about that. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 9, 27. So 270. All right, now complete the sentences. From 3:30 to 4:15, the minute hand made a 3/4 turn clockwise. The minute hand turned 270 degrees. Okay. And 13. An angle represents 1/15 of a circle. Select the number to show how to find the measure of the angle in degrees. All right, so 1/15. 15 times what is 360? Well, let's just look at okay. So let's do repeated subtraction. But let's not subtract 15 at a time. Let's do 10 multiples of 5. 15 would be 150, right? So if I double 150, that would be 300. So let's subtract 300, which would be 20 times 15. Again, what I did was 10 times 15 equals 150. So 20 times 15 is 300 because 15 plus 15 is 30. So 30 tens is 300. I subtract, I get 60. Now we can subtract 15s if we need to. So 60 take away 15 is 45. 45 take away 15 is 30. 30 take away 15 is 15. And 15 take away 15 is 0. So we subtracted 15 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. So 20 15s and 4 15s were taken away, 24. So we're going to multiply 15 by 24 to get 360 equal parts. And 1 times 24 is 24 degrees. So the angle measures 24 degrees. All right, so that's our introduction to angles and degrees. Key point is that there's 360 degrees in a circle, and we can use fractional amounts of the turns and turn them into equivalent fractions with 360 as a denominator to find the angle. In our next lesson, we're going to be talking about measuring and drawing the angles using a protractor. So until then, May the numbers always be in your favor.